think we're live. Hello and welcome back to the Football Rundown. We're live with the pre-match ahead of Stockport County versus Crawley Town in League 2. It's a massive game. Sorry about the delay. I lost track of time. But we're going to open the can open now. And oh shit, that's not gone to plan. Just spilt the can. Good start to this. Yeah, so we're going to be live with the team news, which will be coming in the next 5 minutes or so. You'd imagine this is a big game against Crawley Town tonight. Obviously 10th in League 2 at the moment. I'd say caught massively off guard with this stream. So where was I up to? Something else I was going to do actually, which I didn't do on Thursday night, was I can bring the chat up here, which can make it a bit easier to see. Forgotten how to do that now. So where was I at? Crawley Town versus Stockport County then. We're going to have the team news coming in. I'm pretty sure that Dave Challoner said that Crowsdale may be back available for this game. If it isn't this game, it will be the game against MK Dons on Saturday. So that potentially we could have Crowsdale back in the team tonight. Obviously Bristow's injured. I think Callum Camps may have a knock as well. So in regards to that, I'm not sure what the team will be, but probably something similar to what we saw on Thursday night. We'll have to wait and see though. As for the team, and obviously Madden and Wootton and Alafi starting on Thursday night, I don't think it really worked. To be honest, having all them three options used from the get-go, I think that Dave Challoner's got to make a big decision and leave one out in the team tonight, and it'll be interesting to see who he opts for. He might go with the front three again, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, yeah, that was another thing as well I was going to point out. The teams are out, pal. Well, that's how far behind I am. Well, let's have a look at the teams then. A lot less organised than I was on Thursday night for this stream, so I'll get the team news up then. My apologies. Yep, it's out. It's been out for 10 minutes. So Hinchcliffe, Torre, Horsfall, Camps. Camps is in then. I thought he might have a knock. Sarcevic, Pye, Wootton, Rico Richards. I think that's an interesting one. I think Rico Richards looked promising when he came off the bench against Salford on Thursday. Alafi, Bailey and Kane. So Bailey's back in despite not having the best of games against Salford and hasn't been in great form since he completed his move on a permanent move to County in January. So what are we going with there? Wootton and Alafi. So it's Madden who's made way. So we spoke about that, or I've spoken to my mates about this. I've said, does playing Wootton, Madden and Alafi work? And I think the answer we came to was probably not. And obviously Dave Challoner's decided to drop one, and it is Madden who drops to the bench. Kane's back in from the start. I think that's a good move. To be honest, I thought he looked good again, like Rico Richards when they came on at half time on a Thursday night. I thought it was a really good performance from both of them. I think Kane made just the one error in the game, if I remember correctly. Something's gone wrong with the stream here, so I'm gonna have a quick look as to why the chat isn't coming up. Here we go. The chat's come up. I can't believe Bailey starts in front of Lemon K. Evans and Madden. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for me, I don't think Madden works with Wootton and Alafi from the start. We've only got 3 strikers available at the moment, and playing all them 3 at the start, it just, you've got nothing on the bench then. So I understand what you're saying, though, but Bailey, I suppose the fact that he signed him for, what is it, a rumoured amount of money of £200,000, he's got to almost prove a point. So, I think there's an element of that in the team news. Madden needs a rest, and I think that's also part of it now, because how old's Madden? 33, 34? He can't be playing week in, week out. Hello, bit busy listening but not watching. That's absolutely fine, to be honest. Some people won't even bother listening at the moment. It's been that bad organisation for me today. I'm disappointed with myself on that. But yeah, I do think Madden needs a rest. I think he's a really good character. I'm not sure how long's left on his contract, to be honest. I was having this conversation as well the other day about Madden. And if his contract's up in the summer, I don't know if it is or not, what would you do with Madden? Would you extend his contract for another year, or would you let him go? And I sort of said that I would give him another year contract. I'd say to him, look, you're not going to play every minute, and this is irrespective of whether or not we're promoted to League One or not. I'd say, look, you're not going to play every minute, but we're gonna need you. We're gonna have to rely on you when you can come in and do a job for us, you're important for us still. He'll play a part in the dressing room, and then potentially offer him a pathway into maybe coaching at the club. I think that would be a good deal for both parties if he wants to stay at county, because he's not going to play every single minute, we know that, but I still think he's got a lot to offer, and we saw that against Newport last week. Looks like Bristow is injured. If it's a dislocated shoulder, he'll be out for the season. Yeah, and obviously he's on loan as well from Minnesota United, and I think they can recall him whenever they want. So you'd imagine if he's out till the end of the season, they may just recall him and they may want to do the treatment themselves. Madden's contract is up in the summer. I'd give him a 12-month deal. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I wasn't sure on how long was left in his contract, but it didn't surprise me that he wouldn't have long left on it. But I think he's massively important for us at the moment. Madden can do what Rooney did at this stage in his career. I think there's a lot of parallels. I think I read an article about that probably about a month ago, and I think possibly you've read the same one. But I've been saying this all season about Madden. I think he's massively underrated and underappreciated by some people at County, and I think some people were happy to sort of see the end of him. Oh, he's past it, he's not good enough anymore. But he's so important for us, and I think whilst he isn't always maybe scoring, goals game after game, what he is he's a really good creative presence. He's a really good, presence in general in the dressing room, and I think you can tell that he's a leader in that group, because when you listen to him speak, and he does a lot of interviews, you can tell there's leadership qualities there, and I think we'd massively miss him if he was to go. And I think that's what maybe people don't see in players sometimes, is how important things are in the dressing room, the spirit around the club. Sometimes losing them characters, they might not necessarily be performing on the pitch week in, week out, but they're so important behind the scenes. And obviously, I still think Alafi and Wotton can learn a lot from Madden. So be interesting to see what happens with his contracts in the summer. Depending on whether or not we go up. I think we're going to go up. I think the big conversation is whether or not we're going to go up as champions. And I think, look, Mansfield obviously ran away with it against Bradford on Saturday. What was it, 5-1 in the end? Didn't really do us any favours. But, we're still in the same position. As long as we win our 2 games in hand, then I think we're okay, aren't we? We'll go top of the table. So, I'm not worried about that. I think the biggest worry is, can County keep winning their games, because the form we're in at the moment doesn't look like we're going to be winning games. So that would be the only concern for me, and tonight is a must win. I'm fed up of saying it, but it's true. Apparently Lemonheigh Evans is wearing a cast, so probably why he's not starting. Well, yeah, I think that's probably the case. Again, I think the problem is sometimes at the lower level, in terms of finding out what's going on with players and whether or not they're available or not. If it's Premier League players, there's so much written about whether or not this player will be available. There's so much more updates on the squad and the teams and the players who will be available in the build-up to matches. And obviously at League 2 level, you don't really get that in the same way. There's not the same coverage. There's not the same information that's passed on to the fans, which is frustrating. And hopefully we'll hear from Challoner to see what the situation is with Connor Evans. But I think he's been a bit of an inspiration since he's come back from his loan in January from Wimbledon. And I don't think he's been particularly fancied by Challoner when he arrived, but he's been a bit of a bright spark since January. So it'll be interesting to see if he can come back into the side and see hopefully if he can help us get promotion. I mean, how are people feeling about this game though? I think it's a must win. Obviously, Crawley have won, I think, 4 of the last 5 league games, I'm pretty sure. So they come into this game in really solid form. County not really as solid at the moment, but I'm confident we'll do the job, and I think we've got to do the job, and I think that we've got to remind ourselves we've been top of the table for most of this season. We're not going to allow Mansfield to win this title now. I think it's as simple as that. We have to show that we're good enough to win the title, though, and I think that's the main thing, because Mansfield at the moment, as much as I hate to say it, I think they deserved to be where they are because they've been so consistent. Obviously, we're up against a striker in Danilo Osri, or I think it is, or Orsi today, who's the top scorer for Crawley with 15 league goals this season. That's level with Elliot Lee and Paul Mullin, of course, of Wrexham. So I think they offer threats, of course they do. And obviously, we played them at the beginning of September, I believe. I was at the game. Trying to think of the score, I think it might have been, was it a 3-3 draw or something like that? I remember there being goals in it. And I do remember their players scoring against us and celebrating right in front of the Cheadle end, which I wasn't so pleased about. And neither were many of the other fans, using some interesting language, shall we say. So look, I think it's going to be an interesting game. We could do... we could. Yeah, I don't know what. Sorry, the message has been retracted. But yeah, I think it's not about the title. It's about place or above. The title's a bonus, not a target. Yeah, I mean, I understand that way of thinking. I do, but I just think when we've been top of the table for as long as we have in the season, I think you've kind of got to go for the title, and I think it would be a slight disappointment if we weren't to win the title. But I think as you say, the most important thing is promotion. You get a trophy, you get to say you finished top of the league, but ultimately you still end up in League One either way. So I do understand that, and I do think we will be promoted automatically because obviously, whilst the Mansfield result didn't go our way on Saturday, a lot of the other results did as well. So I think that's something for us to be positive about. And tonight it's just about doing the job. It's just about getting 3 more points on the board because we couldn't do it on Thursday. And I think it's really important that we do it tonight. What I would say is if we fail to win the game tonight, I would worry for County a little bit with 9 games left after that. We could do with Sarcevic hitting some form tonight. Yeah, I agree with that again. I think a lot of the players haven't really found that rhythm for a long time, and I think we've almost just been going through the motions a little bit. I think what's important for County tonight is to, as I say, remind ourselves that we've been top of the table for most of this season. We've been absolutely brilliant in spells, and I think we need to get back to doing that. I think that run that we had from September to November, I think we need to try and recreate that, in the back end of the season. If we can do that, I completely think we go up as champions. But if we don't and we can't win games like tonight, then I do worry about maybe the automatic spots potentially. But I do think we'll go up automatically, and I do think we'll win the title. I'm more confident on the fact we'll go up automatically than winning the title, I have to be honest. But I think that, as I say, we've got 2 games in hand, and as long as we can win them, then I think we're okay. But I suppose a lot of the doubt would be the form we are in at the moment and the injury situation we've still got to deal with. I suppose you would look at it and go, well, how likely is it that we win both them 2 games in hand? And I completely understand as well. We do have tricky games left. We've still got to play Wrexham at the end of the season, obviously, but so have Mansfield. I think they've got Wrexham a week next Friday when we play Forest Green, I'm pretty sure. So that could be a massive game in the title race. In terms of Wrexham could end up leapfrogging Mansfield if results go their way before that game, and obviously Mansfield could run away with the title if results go their way before now and then as well. I think it's Charlie's way of thinking, listening to his recent interviews. I'm not really sure that was about, to be honest. I think maybe I rambled on a little bit to the point where I've lost track of what he's talking about there. But yeah, I think, is he saying that you think it's Challoner's way of looking at it in terms of winning our games in hand and basically saying, well, if we don't win our games in hand, there's no excuses. There's no point talking about us winning the title if we can't win them games in hand because we wouldn't deserve to win the title. And I think that's the thing. We have been top, and I've said it so many times, we've been top for so long in the season, but that doesn't mean that you deserve to win the title. You've got to deserve to win the title by continuing to be the best team throughout the season. Third or above, yeah, okay. Thanks for clearing that up. Yeah, I think that is a target, but obviously he's set up a team. He's gone into the season. They've had a bit of a shaky patch early on, but then they ran away with that 12-match winning streak. He will look at it now and go, I want to win that title, and I do think that he would deep down feel a little bit disappointed if we didn't go up as champions. And I think if everyone's being honest, I think everyone would feel a little bit disappointed if we didn't go up as champions now. But obviously, the overriding excitement of being in League One, I think, would take over from that. But then I suppose the question would be, how do people feel about County and their ability to perform in League One next season? Because I do think it's very likely we'll be in League One next season. And given how difficult we've had it over maybe the last few months, I am a little bit questionable of how well County would do in League One. Because obviously the 3 teams that have gone up last season, I think, have done fairly well in League One, if I'm standard correct. I think Leyton Orient are doing fairly well. Obviously Northampton are doing fairly well, and who was the other team that went up? Stevenage, I think it was. Obviously doing fairly well as well. I think they're on the top half of the table, or might just be out of the top half. So they perform really well, but I would question how capable County would be, and I do think they would have to strengthen the squad quite a bit. It's the games that level out and we haven't won our 2 in hand, then I think the title's dead. Yeah, I do. I think it's all about them 2 games in hand, because obviously we win them two games in hand. What is it? We go a point ahead of Mansfield, I think, if results continue in the current direction. So the title would be ours if we continue to win them 2 games in hand and continue to try and get 3 points to the board in the rest of the games. But as I say, Mansfield could slip up in games, yeah, and that could hand us some momentum. But the form they're in at the moment, it's looking like they're going to run away with it, and it's important that we do win them 2 games in hand. And obviously, we've got Crawley tonight, and we've got MK Dons, which will be a tough game at Edgeley Park on Saturday, and then of course Forest Green, and I'm trying to think who we got after that. But it's going to be a tough running, and I think even the games at the bottom of the table, you go, they're easy games. I'm thinking Forest Green at the end of March. I'm thinking of Sutton maybe at the beginning of April. They should be easy games, but they're away. They're both away from home, and they're both teams that are scrapping at the bottom for points. So they're gonna, as much as we're looking to find points come the end of the season to try and win the title, they'll be trying to scrap for points to try and stay in the league. So that's going to make it tricky for us. No game is going to be an easy game now on paper, because we have to understand that just because we're Stockport County and we probably are good enough on our day, us just rolling up and expecting to win, we have to deserve to win, and that means we have to play well. And I don't think we have played well consistently for a very long time, which would be the worry. And that's what I want to see tonight. I want to see County go into the game, maybe get a goal early on, and then just run away with it a little bit, because that's what Mansfield can do. And I questioned Mansfield's scoring power at the beginning of the season, and I've been proven well and truly wrong by that, because what Mansfield can do is they can blow teams away. And I think that's what Stockport County have lost since maybe that winning streak ended, since we lost that momentum, probably since Louis Barry and players like that have been out. We need to go and show what we can do. And hopefully Rico Richards can provide that bright spark for us tonight, because he looked exciting on Thursday, and with a bit more confidence, which hopefully he should have after being fairly impressive in that game. I'd like to see him go for the game and hopefully get on the score sheet, and I'd say just show what we can do, because I know we can do it on our day. Those two are improving. Yeah, absolutely, they're improving as well. I mean, obviously they brought in was it Steve Cottrell? I think it is, Forest Green. That the results have obviously got better since then. Sutton will have got better as well since then. I'm enjoying these live pre-match shows. Yep, thanks. Well, hopefully people are enjoying it, and hopefully I'll get better at doing it as well. I think starting the stream by spilling my can probably wasn't the best idea, but and probably being a bit more organised, because I made some notes and I've lost them. I know they're here. That was sort of what I was going to talk about, because we spoke about Stockport County, and that's obviously what we're more knowledgeable about. But Crawley Town's recent form, 4 wins in the last 5 league games, 2 points off the playoffs. Tonight could be a tricky game as well. Obviously, they've got a guy who can score goals as well. One of the top 10 or maybe top 11 on joint goals. Top scorers in League 2 this season. They carry a threat. He's not got much less goals than Tanto Olafi, so we've got to be wary of that. And here's another thing I was going to discuss: Challenger's job on the line. I think a few people were saying after the game, if we're not promoted this season, or if we end up in the playoffs, how do people feel about Dave Challoner and whether or not his job should be on the line? I'm of the opinion of, I think we'll go up, so I don't think it's a conversation to be had. But obviously, people would probably question how we've managed to how we managed to drop off so much, because I think it would be an absolute embarrassment if County didn't end up in the automatics at the end of the season. That's just me being honest, and people might not like that, but I think that, this is what football's all about. It's all about opinion, and I think that he would be in a difficult position if we weren't promoted come the end of the season. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I do like him as a manager, and I do think he's taken the club to really high levels, and I do think he'll continue to do that. But I think it would be tricky if we weren't to be promoted this season. But I don't think that's anything to be worried about, because hopefully Stockport County will do the job tonight against Crawley Town, which will be one of our 2 games in hand. It's an important game, as I say. And that team news, it fills me with confidence, because we've got some important players in the side. I'm excited to see Rico Richards in the side. I'm excited to see what Todd Kane can do from right back from the get-go. And we've still got options off the bench should we need it. Ben Knight's on the bench here. That's his first squad involvement for Stockport County since completing his loan move in January from City till the end of the season. So I'm excited. Obviously, Connor Evans is on the bench. There's talk about him maybe having a minor injury, but he should be able to come on should we need him. But hopefully we don't need to be bringing players on because we're not winning the game. And as I say, I'm excited to see how this game will go. I'm going to be watching it on County Player, which is really slow and really laggy for me, but hopefully I can still try and get some enjoyment out of it. And I'm just going to read the comments before I go. Keep him. Who would replace? if he's so who would I replace him with? No idea, no idea, and that's exactly why I'm not saying Challoner out by any means. I think as well, a lot of time, if you want a manager to go, you've got to have a bit of an idea if who you want to bring in before getting rid of the manager, and I do think he'll be okay. If we fulfil promotion, I blame the recruitment team for the. Well, you've always been very consistent in saying you weren't happy with the business within January, so fair play to you on that. And you did also speak about Odin Bailey, and I didn't get a chance to reply to the comment. And you were saying that you were sceptical of the signing, and as much as you don't want to be proven right, and you're hoping it works out, at the moment it's looking like he's probably not been the best signing for us, which is a surprise to me really, because I thought he'd really kick on. I thought he looked bright. I remember going to Swindon away where I thought he really shone, and it just hasn't happened for him. Maybe he's lost that hunger, that determination to prove a point. I don't know, but I do think he needs to get back to playing the way that he was prior to him signing on a permanent basis. Here's another comment as well. I think it's quite negative to talking about sacking a manager. It's a 7-year plan. Once we get more players back in a few weeks, this kind of talk will be a thing of the past. No, look, I agree. I agree with you, and it might be negative, but I think that it was something that some people were talking about, and even though it's not necessarily my opinion, if it's something that people want to be discussed, I've got to bring it up, haven't I? Because that's what it's all about. I do think it's negative, but at the end of the day, is it something that might come up? Possibly. I think we've got to stick with him. I don't think we will miss out on promotion, so I'm not worried about that. But obviously there's a possibility that we do, and I think that's the thing about it. Danny B was here for 6 years, but only one promotion. Dave's not going to leave. If we went up, he might be headhunted in the summer. Yeah, he possibly could be headhunted in the summer. We've seen that happen with managers before. How is the title dead as we have 2 games in hand and we go above Mansfield? Yeah, no, that's what I've been saying. I agree with you on that. It's not dead because we win them 2 games. We're a point ahead of Mansfield. I've got a mate who's been saying every time it goes to full time in League Two, congratulations Mansfield, you've won League Two. And I've said to him, what are you on about? We've got 2 games in hand. We win them. We're still top of the table again. We go back to being top. And he always comes back to me and says, but the form we're in at the moment, the injuries we've got, the fact we're not been getting results and playing well, he's not confident we will win them 2 games in hand. So I understand that, but I'm confident we will. We must win both of them. We've got to win both of them. We've also got to win the other games, because it's all well and good winning them 2 games in hand, but if you don't win the other games, it means absolutely nothing. No one is running away with it. Teams keep on losing. Exactly, and I think that this is the thing. Mansfield have the ability to smash goals in, but they're not running away with it, because if we win our 2 games in hand, we go top of the table. But Mansfield could run away with it if we don't win them games in hand. I think that's the point we're talking about. But I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Stockport County tonight. I'm confident, and hopefully you guys are as well. I've enjoyed this. I want to cut it short because I've got things to sort before kick-off. But I will be live after the match as well, so if people want to join in around 9:45, hopefully people have got time for that. And hopefully it's a good performance from the players, and hopefully a good result. So I just want to say thanks to everyone who's commented, been part of this stream, and as I say, hopefully I'll see you guys on a positive note with hopefully 3 points in the bag later on at full time. So obviously thanks for joining, and hopefully see you guys later on, and as I say, hopefully a county win under our belt. Thanks for watching.